Well, good morning. It's a cold February morning, though not quite as cold as it has been. It has been seasonally colder for the time of year than average, and today is actually warmer than average, so a fair little rise in temperature. So here is my trusty steed, and today I'm going to blow the cobwebs off the bike and take rather a long journey for me from where I live to the north of England. It's been The reason I say blow the cobwebs off is I've not really had a lot of opportunity in this colder weather to go out on the bike because it's been just a cold and miserable and wet January and February here in the UK. Although I did go out on Boxing Day, as is an annual custom of mine. But today I've got a little violin pilgrimage to do. I'm going to go and check out a blue plaque in the north of England where apparently Paganini visited in the 1800s, around I think 1830, and the blue plaque actually sits outside a little cafe where Paganini is said to have been inside. Whether he performed a small intimate concert in there or maybe had a coffee or a bite to eat, I'll have to research further. So they put this blue plaque up outside the cafe in recent times, I think around 2021. The cafe is being run by Italians, which is interesting. If it's open, I might get the opportunity to have an espresso inside, but at the very least, going to try and see the plaque that's commemorating Paganini, and we'll see just how far north in England he actually went when he was on his concert tour here. So I've got a bit of a long journey ahead, so I'm going to switch the cameras off and turn them back on as we near the destination. So let's jump on the bike.
So here we are, just on the outskirts of Bishop Auckland, and it's got gradually a little colder the further north we've got, but weather-wise it's quite pleasant. The sun's out, and yeah, it took quite a long time to get up here though. So we've got about roughly 10 minutes left of the journey, and we'll be at Bishop Auckland, where I'm hoping we can find this Paganini plaque. I was wondering how Paganini would have got all the way up here back in the day, and I'm guessing it would have been probably horse and carriage. I guess it's around 1830. I'll have to check when it was that trains were running, but my guess is he probably came up on horse and carriage, so perhaps he was stopping at routes along the way, giving concerts here and there, and I'm not really sure how far north he got, but this is pretty far north of London. I know that his tour of London was highly successful and lucrative, and I think unfortunately a lot of the money that he made he then gambled away, but it was certainly a lucrative trip for him, highly successful. And of course he composed the God Save the King variations while he was up here, which some say is perhaps the most difficult work ever composed for violin, alongside the last rose of Sommer by Ernst. Now, I'm not not sure what it's like parking wise at this place, but hopefully I can ride the bike right outside the cafe and just park it on the curb or whatever, off and have a little read of the plaque. And it would be nice if the cafe was open, although it is a Sunday, so I suppose that's not guaranteed. Right, so I'm going around this little roundabout. So I've a good 6 to 7 hours riding today by the time I get home, so it's a fair trek.
Niccolo Paganini played at what is now Sam Zayre's Cafe in Bishop Auckland during a tour in the 1830s. The plaque was installed on the anniversary of his death in 1840, so I guess that would mean it was installed on the 27th of May 2021. Violinist Cathy Edmond performed one of his best-known pieces, Caprice 24, the South Bank show theme tune for a decade, for the occasion. Beryl Anderson of South Durham Enterprise Agency spent 18 months researching Paganini and helped to organise the plaque's installation in order to mark the area's rich and colourful heritage. She described Paganini as an eccentric man with long hair, a thick black coat and long double-jointed fingers, which earned him the nickname the Devil's Fingers. Revealing the plaque, Lord Lieutenant for County Durham Sue Snowdon said the Italian musician was an absolute rascal whose visit to the town was worth remembering.
Right, so just left the bike in the car park here. I was originally struggling to find a coin because the ticket machine didn't take cards. So we're just going to walk into the centre and try and find this plaque then.
Beryl Anderson of South Durham Enterprise Agency, who helped organise the plaque on 4 Bondgate, said Paganini was an eccentric gambler and womanizer with an insatiable appetite for travel. She said he demanded high fees for his performances and visited Bishop Auckland as part of a Europe-wide tour, playing at what was then the town's assembly rooms. Paganini performed across Europe in the early 19th century and in 1830 travelled from Durham to Bishop Auckland to play at its assembly rooms. Mrs. Snowdon, whose family ran a fishmonger on 4 Bondgate for several generations, said she was not surprised Paganini came to Bishop Auckland, as it was a town that has always attracted visitors. She said, Paganini is a bit of our jigsaw, and it's wonderful to mark it. History and culture is going to be what takes us forward. Mrs. Snowdon said the Blue Heritage plaque was another example of the area using its history and culture with attractions such as Auckland Castle and art galleries to stimulate regeneration. The building has also been a temperance bar, church and a brewery before becoming the cafe and holiday let run by Sam and Leslie Zayre. Owner Sam Zayre, whose family is from Italy, said, over the years everything that happened in Bishop Auckland happened in that building. We're very proud of its history. The cafe, which played various roles in the town's history, now carries a blue plaque to celebrate a performance it once hosted by a world-renowned musician, Niccolo Paganini. Other plaques in Bishop Auckland include one on the childhood home of Stan Laurel and another dedicated to Pitman painter Tom McGuinness.
Here we are, found the plaque and Sam Zayre's cafe. Unfortunately, it's not open today. But let's have a look at the Paganini plaque here. Niccolo Paganini, celebrated violinist, virtuoso and composer, 1782 to 1840, performed here in the 1830s. This building was formerly used as social gatherings for aristocracy, theatre, local magistrates' court, place of worship, the Shepherd's Inn,
ice cream parlour cafe. It's called the Old Assembly Rooms, and we'll step back and get a better look at the building. There we have it, the Paganini plaque in Bishop's Auckland.